Hello, hello. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. This is going to be a final video, most likely from Jason Bourne. The character is finished. I'm pretty happy with where it is right now. Level 97. I did all the endgame content of the game, and this is a video where I'm going to talk about that. Also, very small improvements and what's gonna come next. All right. So when it comes to small improvements, perhaps some of you noticed in the previous video, I pinned the message, but turns out you actually don't need to use totem at all when you use solar orb to reduce enemies' resistances with fire exposure. At the same time, you can use and strip away. At the same time, you can put in Font of Rage. This is not mandatory, but you can put it in if you want for additional mana regeneration. You can put in Font of Rage to increase you know, this is basically going to function as a totem, right? You drop it in, it applies 26% exposure to enemies nearby, and at the same time it generates you rage. That saves you one skill slot, which there's not much we can do about, but there's not much we can do with this extra skill slot, but there's one thing you can do to save yourself, like, you know, it's going to be one less button. And on top of that, the solar orb cannot die. The totem can. It's much better than it was before. You know, a small improvement. All I'm going to say is that we take those. Thank you very much for the person that said that in the previous video. I don't remember who that was, but still kudos to you, because that definitely is better. And I had no idea that Font of Rage is going to work with this. There's probably many things that, you know, people haven't discovered yet, but in the game, but that's one of them. Next up, I did all the Pinnacle content with this build in the game, and there is few things I want to talk about. Of course, at the end of the video, there will be, you know, short showcase of me doing the endgame content, but there is something I want to mention. Number one, Arbiter of Ash, very simple. The only gimmick in an Arbiter of Ash fight is that you want to learn with this build, and generally speaking with Hammer of the Gods builds, you want to learn when to drop the hammer exactly, because at the start of the fight, the Arbiter gets a short damage reduction, so you want to be able to, like, you want to drop the hammer like a little bit after, like, I don't know, a second, or like, you know, second and a half. It's hard for me to say, but you want to drop the hammer a little bit after Arbiter is targetable, because he'll be standing in the same place. He'll be like doing, like, I don't know, throwing flames or something like that, which I think don't do any damage or something like that. It's just like a visual thing. So you want to drop your hammer after that. You're going to see in the video that I dropped it a little bit too early. That's why he didn't get one shot. But then second hammer and he died, so yeah. Arbiter of Ash, very easy. If you do it properly, you can definitely one-shot any boss in the game. Especially that if you have better weapons than I do, because this weapon is horrible at this point in the league. And I bet that many of you can get something much better than that and do much more damage than I can do with hammer. And my hammer already hits like a truck. I do about 100 million damage right now if I do things properly, and that's without even changing jewels. As I mentioned before, what you can do is you can exchange these jewels to something like increased effective auras and ignite magnitude. If you do that in all the 9 jewels, then you're going to double your damage. So if I did that, if I wanted to have some fun to min-max, then instead of 100 million, I could be doing 200 million ignite if I exchange the jewels, right? And that's not even all, because of course you can improve your weapons too. So 250, 300 million, sky is the limit with this build, because your ignite duration scales with temp chains, and you have a massive damage multiplier thanks to flammability. But that's it. Arbiter, very easy if you do it properly. One hit and he's dead. Next is Xesht. Generally speaking, I think this is the easiest boss in the game. Very easy to avoid whatever he's throwing. With a little bit of practice. That being said, there is absolutely no reason to avoid anything with this build, because he dies in one hit. The same story for King of the Mist, one hit, dead. You just kill everything with one hit in this build, right? The same would be for Expedition Boss. I don't have the footage, but just drop one hammer, boom, he's dead, right? And he's going to phase, you need to drop another hammer, he's dead. If you have the level of gear that I have, of course, once again, you can have much better. Now, when it comes to Simulacrum, that's interesting part because I know that few people ask me, what when it comes to Simulacrum of this build? The answer is very simple. You can do Simulacrum, maximum difficulty Simulacrum with this build, but not consistently. What kills you, I'll tell you what happened in few times I was doing Simulacrum. I don't have the footage recorded because I wasn't able to finish it a single time. But what happened was, until the moment when you get the modifier, also known as 75% less effect of your curses on monsters, Simulacrum is easy peasy. They just don't do anything, right? It's easy peasy, including bosses. After this modifier happens, after you see this modifier, there's the two checks. Number one, if there is no dangerous modifiers with less effect of curses on monsters, then you can still do it. It shouldn't be a big problem. You can still do it. They will not be doing that much damage. Temp chains and flammability will still do something at 25% of their effectiveness, and it's still doable. If you're going to get, that's a bad finger. If you're going to get, this modifier, the less effective curses, and some other bad modifiers at the same time, especially many, like monster life, monster damage, monster penetrate, something like that, you're not gonna do it. And this is one thing that this build is going to struggle with in a game. From all the things I've tested so far, this is the only thing that is going to struggle with. It's because there's this one modifier that just kills curse builds, right? It's just GG is notorious for like loving modifiers that just kill the entire builds, and this modifier is in the Simulacrum, and there is not much we can do about it, right? The entire build resolves around curses, and basically getting your curses capped by 3/4 is a massive penalty for just one modifier. This is a massive penalty for us, and long story short is you will be able to do Simulacrum if you want to give it a try a few times, just for the skill points. If you want to get your skill points here, right? You will be able to do this, but expect to give it few tries, right? And once again, I was doing it at maximum difficulty level. On lower difficulty levels, even with less curse effect, is probably going to be doable, because we just do a lot of damage and we have good amount of tankiness, right? Grim Feast also. Grim Feast does work on delirium monsters, so you will be able to in those early stages to double your ES, which is going to be useful again, in a hard stage. So there are things to help you with. Also, if you want to, you could try to path towards this Jewel Socket and Eternal Youth, which could dramatically help if you used like a high life recovery flask. This could help actually tremendously also, and this could maybe allow you to do even the hardest, the most annoying combinations of mods, maybe. But I haven't tested it. You would have to see for yourself. I'm pretty sure there is something you can do, and there is a setup. There is a setup that exists that will be able to do Simulacrum every single time with this build, right? I'm pretty sure you could, mix and match something that it would actually be possible every time. But I haven't done that. If someone is willing to try, please do so and let me know what you did, because I'm interested. I'm interested. Next up, what's next? So maybe some of you heard about the news when it comes to PoE1. Maybe some of you haven't. There is going to be an event soon in PoE1. I think it's going to last for a month, and there will be like some changes, like everyone will have like different ascendancies or something like that. Not gonna lie, I haven't played PoE in a long time at this point. I think it's like, you know, I stopped playing at the start of the Settlers League, so that was like 7 months ago or something like that. So not gonna lie, guys, I would love to you know, play during this event and perhaps make some content from that too. That makes even more sense because at this point I did 4 like fully fledged out builds, like, you know, theory crafted from the scratch. And not gonna lie, I'm not saying that I'm like burned out of Period 2, because I'm definitely not, but I don't want to be making content and making new builds like hardcore literally until the last day of the league, and then just start with the new with a new economy reset, right? It would be smarter to probably, you know, take it easy and take some breaks so that I can have more ideas and you know, stuff like that. So what we're probably going to do is I'm just going to play PoE 1 during this event. Then we're going to go back to PoE 2, and that's it. And in the meantime, I'm probably going to do. First of all, I would like to hear your opinions. What content you would like to see? I don't know, me explaining mechanics, maybe something else. But I'm going to try to figure out how to, you know, get some content in the meantime. And then we're going to see most likely some content from PoE 1 on YouTube as well. Some build guides from PoE 1 as well. You know, I played this game for a long time, so, you know, making builds in PoE 1 technically should be easier for me than it is in PoE 2. And after that, we're just going back to PoE 2 full force. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. If you agree that's going to be a good strategy, I would love to hear and see what you guys think. And that's pretty much going to be it. I'm going to put at the end of the video the showcase of me doing the endgame bosses. And yeah, if I'm going to come up with some new ideas, guys, there will be videos. But for now, yeah, I'll be honest, like there is 1 or 2 more builds that I was thinking about doing. Like for example, Titan with quarterstaves, and also Warbringer with full block and full evasion stacking, like a Warbringer that you actually can hit with anything. But I think that it's just going to be better to, instead of keep on pushing and pushing and pushing, at this point just wait for economy reset, which is probably going to be soon, in a few weeks, and then just go full force, you know, with the content. I think that's going to be better. Like, once again, let me guys know what you think. Alright, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, if you have any questions when it comes to this character or any other, feel free to let me know. I'm going to try to answer every single person. See you next time. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.
Chasms of flame shall restore her glory. Your affliction upon her will soon be erased. Conceived of fate. Let fear of the mother soul watch
the forge!